This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back. If you are feeling that life is not where you think it should be at this point, maybe there's certain things you feel that you deserve and they're not here, or maybe just feeling that feeling that many of us describe as being stuck. I'm not moving. Life's okay, but I know it could be better. But there's a reason, but I don't know what the reason is, why I'm not attaining that. We're going to talk to somebody today that helps people make those realizations, those aha moments. And a lot of the things that we're talking about here reside in your past, and you might not even realize it. Her name is Marla Past, and she is back with us. We're going to talk about a lot today. She helps with hypnotherapy, life coaching, and so much more. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm doing very well. Keep growing and changing and living and learning, and I'm still here. So what else is there to do?
I just find it fascinating that your name really is Past. And am I right in saying that a good portion of what we deal with or what is holding us back comes from our past?
So it's such an interesting observation and question. I would say I never really thought of it that way, except I've always thought of it like maybe in my life, because if you go to therapy, they always want to talk about your past, correct?
Correct.
And I think that that's useful and it has its place. But what I have really come to discover is for those of you who are listening to this who are not big believers, just hang on to your seat and relax. Bear with me. And for those of you who are, let's go. There are, according to a lot of the spiritual teachings, many lives. So what I have found in my work, which I've been doing for many, many, many years, many different ways, of which we will discuss, by going back into a regression or a past life regression, I think some of you have heard this, you can get an understanding of why things are the way they are in this life. Sometimes it's karmic and you have to finish something karmically that you did not finish in the prior life. And sometimes it's just something that didn't have closure. And by going back there, you can take a look at it, understand it, bless it, and cut the cord. And I have seen, the first time I ever heard that was like, I want to say 30 years ago. I had a past life regression and it was done with crystals on my different chakras. And I did not have a good time. I was not happy. It was like, why do I need to be here? Why do I need to go here? You're not letting me know anything. I was more like just an experiment and for the practitioners. And I didn't get really anything out of it, except that I went somewhere that I didn't want to be. And for many, many years, I badmouthed past life regression. I was like, I don't need to know what went on in other lives. I'm only interested in this life. Until I met the work of Dolores Cannon. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dolores Cannon, but she was an ancient wizard. I mean, this woman is brilliant and pure love. If you ever watch her videos, just pure love. She's not even in the room when she does her work. She's just pure channeling and pure love. When I met her work, it all made sense with me. And we'll talk about that as the last part of this segment so stay tuned because in summary, I want to talk about that work, the QHHT work, quantum healing hypnosis.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm curious.
Sorry.
We talk about past life. I'm a believer in it. I haven't had a regression yet, but the more and more I talk to people, I believe there's something there. What's your belief, Marla? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being there is a past life and it has an impact on our current life, be it karma, lessons, whatever it might be. Scale of 1 to 10, where are you sitting with that?
10.
Okay.
I now am total. I've seen it. I've seen it with clients and I never, ever expected to see the things that I saw. I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah.
But I believe in the process of getting, I believe in hypnosis. I didn't always believe in hypnosis. When I first took hypnotherapy with a woman named Carol Denneker, who is wonderful, wonderful teacher. She's still around. She's great. She's full of life and energy, and she's brilliant. Shout out to Carol. I actually didn't, I was very skeptical. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this because I have this gym for overweight children. I want to get them off sugar. That's the end of it. All right. Let me see if I could get them off sugar. But when I went through the training and I found she did one of these trainings, this session with me where I was raising my right hand and I could not bring it down. It was stuck there because she said, you cannot bring it down until I say so. And I remember my conscious mind saying, this is ridiculous. And I remember my conscious mind saying, I can't believe I'm going through this. And my subconscious mind or my superconscious mind, which is what you're connecting to when you're in a trance, just said, relax and let it be. From that moment on, I thought, there is something to this. I could not get my hand down. She tapped into something in my subconscious mind that was controlling this physical vessel, and it worked. So from then on, I always had like one eye open, like there's something to it, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. But fast forward, I am a manual therapist. That's my degree by trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied a lot with fascia. So I am an earthling from what and I do like touch and I do like manipulating the flesh and the body. And I can get a lot of information when I do that work. And I've been doing it for a very long time. And it's a gift. I've been gifted in that area that I can touch somebody through my hands. I can pretty much tell what's going on with them. And I love that. And I'm very grateful. But I want more, right? So I found through my body work, I found the fascia, which is it organizes and supports the structure and integrity of the body. That's the first thing that fascia does. When you cut into chicken and you open it up and you see this clear, like membrane-ish kind of material.
Mm-hmm. Like a whitish material.
It's actually like, yeah. And it's like when you open it up, it's kind of clear.
Yeah.
Right. Cut it away and they say, don't need, that's fascia. That's what that is.
And it's in us everywhere.
We have it from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet, entirely running through the body. It's like a stocking. So on a physical level, it supports the structure and the integrity of the body. And then there's an emotional level. On the emotional level, it stores tension and trauma. So it's a big player in processing emotion. Okay, it stores it. If you have trauma, the fascia in the body bounds. It's like, uh-oh, bounds. It's going to protect you. It's like a shield. Holds on to it. Energetically, because it's transparent, it can illuminate light. Light can travel through it. So it's a conduit of light and it can promote healing. Okay, so when they put light therapy on you, like red light therapy, green light, blue light, all the light therapies, which are frequencies of energy, right? Light therapy for healing, different hertz of energy, match the hertz of the illness and the energy can heal you. That's the idea. This is very deep stuff, but yeah. So I love it. So when they put the light, it illuminates through the fascia. And so the light can penetrate the fascia and get to the root of the cause. And while it's doing so, it can unmangle the mangled fascia because remember, the fascia gets mangled when we have trauma.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, let's say you have surgery, you have a scar, whatever it might be, underneath there. Lack of a better description, the fascia is all screwed up.
It's all, well, the scar is the bound fascia. So you actually have to unbound the fascia to get rid of the scar tissue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why there is massage for that. There's that's another modality.
Fascia work. That's fascia work. That's what it is. Friction, massage. You have to work with the fascia to unbound it. I've done some incredible work with scars with fascia work. Incredible nose jobs, cancer, removal of cancer on the nose. We had one patient, cancer on the nose, big, huge gash, and the skin is so thin on the nose with the fascia work around it. She doesn't even have a scar anymore. That's pretty.
So she had surgery and
She had
with the
surgery.
fascia.
And then
Wow.
what we did was got right on it. We got worked the fascia right away so the collagen wouldn't back up and build up. And so we worked it through with as soon as the scar wasn't open, and we worked it through with transverse friction. I'm touching my nose on this video, it's funny. And we kept the scar from, keloiding or like getting bumpy. And she really came out okay.
Wow. Can you
It
do
was
that? Side note, diversion here, but let's say you had some surgical procedure, you didn't get on that right away. Let's say it's been a couple of months after. Can you still do massage on a scar to dislodge the fascia and get a better cosmetic result?
absolutely, I do it with C-sections.
Wow.
So women have had babies 20, 30 years ago. And 20, 30 years ago, I can tell from my own experience, the C-sections are not what they are now. Now I see these women with C-sections, they have these little tiny things. I have a scar. Like, I'm so grateful for my daughters and thank you for the scar. So I've done it on myself and we have worked with other people. So what happens is the scar is very deep and then it starts to wrap around the organ. So it's very important if you have a C-section that was done that way to get that unraveled. And you can do that with the fascia work. You break up the adhesions and you bring it back into a liquid state. You flush it through the body. And it's actually quite phenomenal. And it's much healthier to do that. You don't want scar tissue laying around there like that.
I've heard
Good
cosmetic
question.
surgeons say after surgery to massage the area, um, but never knew why. Yes, I knew it was kind of breaking up stuff. I did not know it was the fascia
It's the
that,
fascia,
wow.
fascia.
Hmm. Fascia,
Yeah.
fascia, was it Marsha, fascia, fascia?
Yeah, right. So, and then spiritually, working with the fascia can help align the body with higher spiritual frequencies because it penetrates light. So somehow they found, and I can't specifically explain it, but the fascia is connected to the higher spiritual frequencies. I can tell you instinctively, whenever I do hypnosis or wherever I do any kind of past life regression work or breath work, particularly the 9D breath work, which is all the different modalities to get them into a theta state, I like to start with body work. I like my patients to come see me. I can do certain things virtually, absolutely. marlapass.org, that's my website. Absolutely, I can do work with people virtually, but the real work, the regressions, the deep, deep somnambulistic work, which I'll explain, I must see them. They come to see me from everywhere because I need to get my hands on them first, and then I need to take my hands off of them and not touch them and do the hypnosis work. You don't touch people during hypnotherapy. So that's that. So that's the fascia.
Hmm.
And I like to work with that because I can get the body prepared for what's coming. I get the body loose, liquid. That's what you want. You want it liquid. So you break it up and you get things flowing. And now the body, the vessel is in cooperation. It's not resisting, it's holding on. Okay. It's not holding on, not much. I really try to get it to a point of freedom. We got that, right? Now we're going to do some breath work. And why do I do breath work? Breath work, particularly the 9D breath work, which I have mentioned before, can really assist me in bringing them to a theta state. Sometimes in hypnosis, it's very difficult to get people in a theta state. With the QHHT modality, it's pretty easy. But I have had, especially men who are, I love my men, don't get me wrong. Men are very left brain. Left brain is conscious. They're conscious men. They're not conscious in the way of consciousness. They're more like they're living the life. They're in the life. They're like everything has to be commonsensical. Like, what do you mean? That's ridiculous. Absolutely not. I don't believe in miracles. Sound familiar?
It did until I started looking deeper into
Right. You
all
start
of
working.
this, so I'm not the perfect subject for this. So,
Is a beautiful thing. And the men are changing. And we love that because we need the men. Where are the men?
listen, I'm in a men's group, been there for just over a year, and I've seen even in a year, and this is something I never thought I would ever join. I almost thought it was a cult. No, it's a community leadership group of men supporting other men. And when I first started, just what you described, I view was the case. Now we have a shaman.
I love it. I love, oh my
We do
God.
shadow
Yeah,
work
that makes me
every
so happy.
every week. No joke. And like 10 men in the room, they're all listening and on board and all different types from blue collar, white collar, all different
That's
types.
so great.
So
That's so great. I
I
love hearing
believe
that.
the
We are
consciousness
changing.
level, it's
We're
changing.
changing a lot. I mean, just from the time that I started studying the work with Dr. Joe Dispenza, to studying with Dolores Cannon, actually her daughter Julia, because Dolores moved on in 2000, I think it was 13. So Julia Cannon is taking on her work now, which she's brilliant. Um, when I went to the Dr. Joe retreats or even the Abraham Hicks retreats, there were no men. And I'm like, well, this is no fun. We're all the men. I want the balance. We need the balance. Now at the QHHT, there's a ton of men, and they are incredible hypnotists.
Hmm.
Amazing and so insane. Yesterday, my patient, he was a friend, another hypnotist, but he wanted me to put him under. Manly man. It was so incredible, and he was so challenging. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm not under, and he was under.
That's cool.
He
Well,
was like,
that's a testament to what's actually going on. Many think that I'm going to be totally different. I'm hypnotized. Oh my gosh. He didn't even know he was.
no, and I'll explain a little bit about that as best I can today. But of course, they can always contact me
Sure.
at marlapass.org or 917-414-2504.
Gotcha.
That in, they can call me. I'm always available. I love to talk to people. It makes me happy. So we're going to talk about the breath work. So the 9D breath work, behind the breath it's been said, lies the truth. And through the breath, when we do a lot of breath work, let me just get my notes here because there's a lot of them. The breath work puts you into a chemical state where it activates the pineal gland of the brain. The pineal gland of the brain is the gland that is only activated, it's activated it produces serotonin and melatonin. Serotonin, or sera, is the hormone that the body produces by itself that wakes you up in the morning. Good morning, Sarah. Melatonin, or mel, puts you to sleep at night. Okay? So when you're secreting serotonin or melatonin, your pineal gland is sending out signals. It's like a radio receiver. And when you're sending out signals and you're in that state right before bedtime or right before awake, you can hear something. Something can come through. You may not know that you're hearing it. It may be a thought, it may be an instinct, it may be an impulse, but higher consciousness is able to come through. Now, higher consciousness, it has been said, again, for any of my naysayers, just go with me on this, okay? Higher consciousness is always talking to us. Higher consciousness, or God, or whatever you believe, source, whatever it is for you, is a rain of light, is always sending light to us. We, as humans, are stubborn as stubborn can be. I want to say mules, but I don't want to insult a mule because we're even more stubborn than that. We don't listen, and we are full of self-will. We know better. We're going to do it ourselves. Myself. I don't believe you. Absolutely not. And we don't hear. But we're in a state before bed or right before we wake up. Those are the two little windows that something might come in. Now, here's the good news. When you do breath work, we get you into that state pretty quickly. 9D breath work does, because it has 9 different modalities to quiet. I'm laughing because Dolores Cannon calls it Mr. Stupid. Okay, to quiet the stupid part of the mind. I call it, or I've been taught, the monkey mind.
Yep.
The
That's what
mind that
we call it over here.
it goes from branch to branch to branch to branch. It just doesn't stop. Okay. So, Mr. Stupid.
Or the other my favorite description, squirrel brain. You ever watch a squirrel
Yeah,
runs in the
same.
street, blah, go back to the other? Well, I'm not really sure where I'm going.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's
you're
a
in your
perfect
car, you don't want to
analogy.
hit it.
I love it. Perfect analogy. And somehow it doesn't get hit, right? Somehow it finds its
Right.
way out. It's very interesting. Once in a while they get dead, but rarely. So 9D has really figured out how to quiet that monkey mind through solfeggio frequencies, binaural beats, music, subliminal hypnosis, talk therapy, different vibrations, different music, a plethora of beautiful things that it does. And usually you wear headphones. I can do 9D virtually. Okay. But if you do it in person, you're wearing these headphones like you're wearing right now, and it comes through the headphones and you can feel the vibrations. It's very powerful. And from there, we take you on a journey, and the journey will help you with whatever it is you're working with, depression, anxiety. I use it, but I also, when somebody comes to me, I use it as an adjunct. Okay. And then I have them come back for another treatment. And if they're still wanting to work with somebody, and I have people with severe depression, I don't want to be here, suicidal, a lot of people don't want to be here. They are very disappointed with life on earth. And I'm getting very emotional when I say that to you, because I know, in fact, it's true. Whoever I'm talking to out there right now in this moment, if you hear me, you're supposed to. They don't want to be here. Now, there's a reason they don't want to be here. But they have a contract with their higher power that said you were going to come down and you're going to fulfill a mission. So they have to be here, because if you go into suicide, and listen to this came from source itself, if you believe or not, it must ring true. You're going to have to come back again, and it's going to be harder. So you might as well stay here and work it through. There's a lot of help. Work it through. Work it through. You'll get to the other side. I have seen it. I have done it myself. You can get to the other. I was bulimic for 30 years of my life. I threw up every single day. I could not get out of my addiction, and I did. And I'm here and I teach.
Thank you.
Because I've done my work.
And you have a purpose. And your
Correct.
purpose is what we're talking about right now. And for
Beautiful.
many of us, I believe that they haven't found their purpose. They're lost. And as what we're talking about here, there are things where, and I'm detecting from you, we're just about out of time. My gosh. I'm detecting from you that we're here to learn and teach. So there are lessons that need to be learned. But if we leave this planet, to your point, we're going to learn them again. And it's
Well,
going
if
to
we
be
leave it by
harder.
suicide, let me just interject. If we leave it prematurely, if we choose to punch out, if we choose to kill ourselves, we have to come back and do it again, because we reneged on a contract that we made. Okay. Now, here's the thing about QHHTB. Thank you for telling me about the time, because I want you to know. One of the biggest things about working with quantum hypnosis healing technique, QHHT, Dolores Cannon, is it will bring you back so that you can find and affirm your purpose. It will show you your purpose. It will tell you. The subconscious mind, we get you into a state of somnambulism, which is the deepest trance you can get. Guarantee. It will tell you your purpose. And then you're clear. That's happened to me.
And to your point, just to bring it up, it's my belief, and I'm guessing it's yours. It's all in us. Everything we need to know is within.
You have to allow it in, your higher self.
And you have to hear it, but you can't hear it. When our squirrel, monkey brain stuff going on, life in general, we've lost the connection to ourselves. Like the cell phones, like not working anymore. We're not connected. When you refer to the contract, Marla, is that the soul contract?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the contract that you make with God. You want to come, you're coming back. Most people don't want to come back because it's so great on the other side. So I've heard. They're so incredible, but they have to come back. They've been called. Some people come back because they have karma to burn. They have karma with people. They've done things. They need to come back and finish it up. Some people come back because they're volunteers. They need to come back because the earth needs them.
You so much to talk about here.
I know.
The karma word. Now that one resonates for many, And it's a
Yes,
belief that if you do the wrong thing in this life, there is a repercussion for that. But what I'm hearing from you is that repercussion or that lesson, whatever it might be,
it's a
might
lesson.
it might be in the next life.
Well, if you don't work it through in this life, it will be in the next life. And that there's no good or bad. It's just is what it is.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. There's no good or bad. Everything is life is a lesson. Earth is a lesson. This is a school. Oh, okay. So you didn't learn the lesson. Okay, so you're gonna have to take that class again. Just take
Yeah.
it again.
Repeat a grade. Like you
It's really
failed.
fine. It just repeat it again. It's really fine. It's a school.
Final question.
Yes.
When we talk about QHHT hypnotherapy, right? Would you say broadly, briefly, that QHHT is hypnotherapy on steroids?
100%.
Yeah.
It is the best form of hypnosis I have ever found. It makes complete sense. It's pure love. Nobody has to be afraid. It's not fearful. You are completely aware of what you're doing. It's being recorded so that you have the recording, because some things you won't remember when I get you into the somnambulistic state, and the superconscious comes in and talks to you. You won't remember that, but I have the recording so that you can hear it over and over and over again. And the information will keep processing in your body for 3 days. I've also seen it have instantaneous healings from things like cancer and MS and Parkinson's. I know that sounds crazy. It is not the first time I've seen it, and it's not the first time I've experienced it with clients. I saw it at Joe Dispenza retreats. Oh my God, things that you would not believe. Christ did it. Jesus Christ saw people well. He never saw them sick. And then they became well.
This stuff is real. I've experienced QHHT.
So,
Yeah. And it's interesting the
my God,
language
I
that is
love
used.
you. You're such an evolved man.
I'm working on it. But you know what? The student was ready. And that's why the teacher showed up.
Teacher appeared. That's right. So
Because
I want
I've
to be
been
ready.
exposed to energy and psychics and all of that for decades, but it was only until I really needed it. That's where it showed up, and that's where I was most open to it.
You were ready
Um,
to hear it.
I
When
was
you were
ready to
ready
hear
to
it.
hear it. And that's pretty much what it is.
I was ready to understand it. I already had heard about it. Even when I was a kid, I operated a camera at a cable station, and some kooky lady was talking about this thing called Reiki. I'm like, I don't know what Reiki is. I'm just moving the camera around. And that's when I was in 11th grade. And then years later, I'm getting Reiki, and it's healing, and
And
it's
here you
it's
go.
wonderful. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, that's the past, and how the past, I believe, sets us up for the future. I'm still fixated on your last name legally being passed.
I know it is incredible. And I never really understood why I kept it after I divorced my husband. I knew it was because my daughters have that last name, but it just felt right.
It does, because this is what you do. Don't ever change
Makes
it.
sense. No, I'm not. It's like that's my name.
Don't. There's, again, there are no coincidences. There are coincidence, coinciding incidents, if you
Correct.
will.
Correct.
What's your website, Marla?
marlapast.org. My Instagram is Beauty Frequency Love. And my Facebook is Marla K. Past.
Final question. I'm going to do
Yes.
some work. I have about a half hour to take care of some other stuff. I want to put on some beats at a certain frequency. What would you suggest? I hear 528 is the frequency of love, but let's say you want to clear some stuff out. What frequency should we go for?
I think it's between 432 and 437 would be a great frequency to you to work with.
Just wrote it down, and that's what I'll be jamming to in a little while. Thank you so much for today. You do so much. You've got like your finger on the pulse of all of this. Wish there was more time, but maybe there will be if the universe says so
I'm sure we will meet again.
in the future, because the past is about to become now.
Correct.
In a way. All right. Thank you so much for today. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.